Hi, it's a lipstick gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's talk about some May favorites. I feel like I've been either wearing all the makeup or hardly any this month, and it's never kind of like in the middle. I feel like today is a really good day of like in the middle where I'm wearing some things, obvious makeup, but it's not a lot. And then half of this month I've been like completely barefaced, just sunscreen. It's been kind of a weird month for me. I went from feeling really bad to feeling so much better. I got in to see my pain doctor. I've been dealing with pain, like constant pain, really excruciating pain from a surgery I had in August up until just last week. Okay, I had surgery in August, a brain surgery, and they put in a new shunt. The shunt diverts excess spinal fluid through a tube that drains into my abdomen, and it had been poking me. So in December, I had a second surgery to shorten the tube that goes down into my abdomen, to shorten it and to place it someplace else. And I was feeling a little bit better, but I was still having a lot of pain. So I went to my pain doctor, who'd been starting me off with oral medication to see if that would help the nerve pain. And I finally got an injection like a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. Oh my goodness, made all the difference in the world, all the difference. It took about 6 days for it to kick in, but once it kicked in, I was like, oh look, I'm doing stuff I haven't done in forever. So that's like the best thing that's come out of May. And before that point, I was very much like, oh, I can't do anything. Because I mean, 9 months of constant pain is overwhelming. Long story short, I deal with chronic pain. I have for the last 2 decades. And this extra layer of pain for the last 9 months is finally starting to alleviate, for which I am very grateful. And I'm going from not being able to do anything, not walk through a grocery store, not stand on my feet for too long, to finally being able to do more active things. And I could not be more grateful because, you know, I'm tired of being in this house. I'm just gonna say it. So that's probably the best thing. One of the things I have really been enjoying, and this is one that kind of surprised me because I've been going for lighter eye makeup looks overall, is this right here. This is the Sigma Cool Neutrals palette. All right, I did not expect to love this. And the truth is I do. And I really have been leaning into this cooler side here. Yeah, these are neutrals. I don't know that these are cool neutrals. We definitely have some warmth going on in through here. This is a little taupey. It's, you know, maybe neutrally, but definitely warmth here. But this half of the palette is absolutely stunning. I've really been enjoying it. And I like using just like 2 shades together, 2 shades together, 2 shades together to get a really easy look. First time I tried anything from Sigma other than their brushes was this last holiday season when they were having their Black Friday sale. I picked up this. This is the Ambiance palette. It's the same size as the Cool Neutrals. I like that, but it's decidedly warmer than the mood I've been in recently. And I also picked up this. This hazy eyeshadow palette is pretty, but it definitely leans more berry. And I was looking for something a little bit cooler, even though there are some beautiful cool shades in here. This has definitely been doing everything I want it to do, and the fact that I can just pair them together 2 at a time, perfect. I do use a lot more than that sometimes when I'm sitting down and having like makeup therapy time, but this has really surprised me because much of this month I haven't been wearing any makeup, but I'll, you know, fill in my brows, put on some concealer, blush, and lipstick, and I'm out the door. But on the days that I've been reaching for eyeshadow, this has been kind of like a surprise hit. Also been loving this. This is the Paris Reverie. This is a palette that I picked up last month. It's new from Viseart. It's one of their Étendue palettes. And I love, again, that we're dealing with some cool tones, but they're really desaturated. You know, we do have some warmth over here, some peachy shades, but this side over here is what I've really been enjoying. And I love, absolutely love, that these are not too punchy. The level of saturation is really turned down, which works really well on my fair skin, because if I go in with something that's too dark or too much, it looks like either I'm trying too hard, and it also ages me. So I need to keep the shadows lighter. This has been great for that. Let's keep going on the eyeshadow stuff because I really liked this. This is a single shadow from Jones Road. This is called the Best Eyeshadow. It's a matte and it's ash. So I really do like the size of the compact. There is a mirror here that I feel is just big enough to be functional if you need it to be. But my favorite thing about this is that this cool, really kind of taupe shade is a little bit and not too much. So you can see that it really works for building darkness. And it looks ashy on my hand, but on my skin, just right here in the socket, it is the perfect amount of shadow without looking too heavy. I have been loving this, and I like that it is just a little bit cool. So on the days that I want to wear just a little mascara, and I feel like, you know what, my eyelids look a little bare, I'll throw the smallest little bit of this just right here in the outer half of my crease, blend it out into nothing, and I'm good to go. This is one of those for if you want to look like you're not wearing makeup, but you want just a little bit of contour to the eyes. I really love using a matte cool toned shade like this. Now, if we have different skin tones, find a shade that works for you, and it doesn't have to be from Jones Road, just like a single shadow, but that's how I've been using this. On the days I'm like, I don't want to do eyeshadow, I'll pull this out, throw a little bit in mascara, and I'm out the door. It's really, really easy, and I like that. But on the days I want a little extra sparkle, I picked this up. This is from Half Magic. This is one of their shadow singles. Oop. And this is the shade Wet Pebble. I mean, this shade is everything that my like little shiny birds loving heart wants, because that's what it is. Now, the one thing I've noticed when I'm putting this on, I usually use my finger to put this on. I get the best pigmentation that way, but then it starts to, because it ends up looking more like this. And if I put it on this thick, because I do have this part of my lid that touches right here, I start getting transfer higher than I want. So I find that when I buff it out a little bit, I love the look of this, but it's so creamy and emollient that if I leave it on that heavy, I do get transfer way up above my crease in kind of a weird shape, just where like the mobile lid touches that upper part. And that's not my favorite, but I really have liked this. I didn't think I was going to be like I want just a single shadow. I love that you can take it out and put it in a magnetic palette. That's great. Half Magic does sell those, but I've been keeping it in here because if I put it in with the rest of my single shadows, I'm going to lose track of it, and I don't want to. And this bright lime green packaging is great. By the way, this is compostable. So it feels like cardboard, but it's really interesting. I really like it. But for me, it's the fact that it's such a beautiful shimmery shade. So even these two together, a little bit in the crease, a little bit on the mobile lid, and we're good to go. So much fun. The look that I have going on today is due to this beauty right here. This is from What's Up Beauty. This is part of their Egyptian Queen collection, and this is their multi-chrome liquid liner. This is great. I like that we have a mixing ball in here, and it comes out this like really fabulous, beautiful duochrome where it can be like dark kind of beetle green and gold, and there's a little bit of a flash of blue in there. This is fantastic, and this is what I have on my eyes today. And I love something as easy as this. I did my makeup before I put on the green shirt. I normally don't wear like the green liner to go with the green shirt. I usually wear it with something else. It's a little more matchy than I would normally go, but I was like, I want to wear the green shirt, and I already have this eyeliner on, and I forgot about it till I looked in the mirror. But this has been so much fun. This is a great way for me to do like a little bit more with my eye look, but not have to work too hard. This wears really well. I don't find that it flakes or transfers. It lays down over the top of itself really easily, because like if you need to add more, sometimes if you do that, it picks itself up, or it gets crumbly, or it doesn't work well on the top of itself. This is a really great formula. I like how easy it is. I also have this, they sent me the black as well. This is something that the brand sent to me in PR. I like the black, but I find that I've been reaching for this. And I was sure this is something that my teenagers would kidnap and I would never see again, because my kids love shiny, sparkly things like I do, but they do more adventurous, more colorful makeup than I do. But I've been like, do not take my eyeliner. And I have been loving this, and I think it's really fun, and it's just enough and a little bit. And when it dries, I don't find that even my watery left eye doesn't ruin it. It's really beautiful. And this has really been something I've been enjoying. I mean, I like the black too, but this is the one I've been reaching for. My two most reached for mascaras this month are these guys. I love the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash. It is a beautiful traditional mascara, doesn't flake. I don't have to curl my lashes, because there's something about this formula and this wand. And I know a lot of people are going to say, it's just a regular curled wand. Yes, I know. Normally, these ones that come like these rubber molded brushes, I poke myself in the end. I was like, oh, ow. And I've never once poked myself with this. The other thing is, the minute I start using a curved wand, I start getting mascara everywhere, like all over my lid, all the way down here, like out here or on the inside of my, I don't know. I am a mess. I've been wearing makeup for 35 years and I still mess up my mascara probably 60% of the time. Like the fact that I didn't get any on places where it didn't belong today was a sheer miracle. But I love this mascara because I get such beautiful lashes with so little effort. This is the other mascara I've been loving. Hamish is a Korean brand. This is a tubing mascara. This is the Smudge Stop, but this is in the volumizing formula. I didn't know there was a volumizing formula. And I don't know whether the formula is the same and it's just the brush that's different, because the other brush that I'm used to is a kind of a curved wand for curling, and it's their curling formula. But I don't know if it's just a difference in applicator and the tubing product itself is the same, but it works really well. I love this on days that I want to do something easy and not have to work too hard to get my mascara off. I'll use the Hamish because it's a tubing mascara and comes off with warm water, and I don't need to sit there and I do need a balm cleanser or an oil cleanser to break this up, and then, but I always double cleanse, and then, a foaming cleanser to get the rest of it off. But these have been, because this is easy to remove, and this is like, I hardly have to think about it, just warm water takes it off. These have been the two I've been reaching for. I have been wearing the skin tint a lot. Even on days when I don't do anything else, I'll tap some of this on just to make my skin kind of look even, because I can never tell when I'm wearing it. I love this. And you would think that if you can't tell that you're wearing it, why take the time to do it? I don't know. Now, a lot of people have said, why are you paying $49 for the Lisa Eldridge skin tint when you can take your favorite foundation and thin it out with moisturizer? Yeah, I see that. I get that. I do. But there's something about the way this looks and sits on my skin that is beautiful. It actually wears really well. It wears for 9-10 hours on my skin, and it doesn't really ever look heavy. It just looks like my skin a little bit better. You still see my freckles through it. You still see like hyperpigmentation through it, but some of the redness is dialed down. Some of the, uneven tone is kind of just minimized enough to look like pretty skin. And that's always what I'm looking for. This has been great. The other product that has been really easy to reach for and use this month for foundation is this. This is the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation. This is the shade N1. This is the shade that I use in the concealer. So they have it on their website, like if you wear this shade in the concealer, this will be your shade. I love that. That's great. This has been fantastic. They do send it with like their own little puff here. I used it once. I didn't really like the way my skin looked with it. I like it a lot better, and this is silly, when I use a velour puff. And these are ones that I get off of Amazon. So I'll pick some up like this, and I will just touch up. And I find that if I want more coverage, if I want to use it like a foundation, all I have to do is pick it up with this puff and pat it around. I also really love applying it with a brush if I'm setting a liquid foundation. I have used it over the Lisa Eldridge. I know it seems funny because this is kind of like a powder foundation, but when you pick it up with a brush, it's very whisper thin. It's almost like just a little hint of setting. It's not really coverage, but if you're looking for coverage, you can use the puff that they provide. I just think that this is easier and I get a better finish to my skin. And maybe it's because with the other one, I'm kind of like tapping it in, and here I'm really like pressing it in. I don't know, but I really like this, and it's made life so much easier. I think this is going to be one of the go-to things I keep in my handbag as temperatures start to warm up and I will have oils cropping up on my nose. I find that as I put it on right at the beginning of the day, it can look a little like I'm wearing powder, but like 45 minutes in, my natural oils come through and it just looks beautiful. Wears really well. I feel like it is a fantastic option. And I was worried. Me and powder foundations don't always get along. And I like that this does not make me look dry, does not make me look worse as the day progresses. Actually, it looks better and better on my skin as the day progresses because my natural oils come to the surface and it looks more skin-like and less powdery. Finally got my hands on the Buttermelt bronzer from NYX. This is a really nice formula. I do have one of the Buttermelt blushes. I got a shade that was really dark for me. So I have worn it a couple of times, but I feel it's like approach with caution because I didn't know how pigmented those were. I feel like this formula here is a little bit easier. It is pigmented, but it's not as pigmented right out of the gate as the blushes are. I feel like I can use the same sort of brush, and I normally reach for like my number 5 brush from Rougher. You can see this one, I've been using it with bronzer. It's easy to tap in here and then to swirl it on. I have 2 number 5s, so if I use a number 5 for blush, I tap it in, do this, and then it's like, ah! I think I just got a shade that was wildly pigmented, but I've been loving this bronzer so much. The formula is really nice. And it smells like sunscreen, like that coconutty sunscreen smell. The other bronzer, man, I can't stop reaching for it, is the RMS bronzer. Okay, a lot of this month, I told you, if I'm wearing very little makeup, I don't put on any eye makeup. I'll throw on some brows, and instead of blush, sometimes I'll reach for bronzer. This is one that's so pretty because it does have a slightly radiant quality to it, a very satiny quality. This is lovely. I like this. I have the shade Beach Walk Betty, and on the days that I don't even want to use tools, I just want to use my fingers. I like this Glossier Cloud Paint Bronzer. This is the lightest shade in sale. This is perfect because you don't really need a lot, and you can get a really pretty bronze that blends with no effort. A lot of people have been excited about the new one from Makeup by Mario, the one that is both a doe foot and like a pump, or the new one from Say. And the truth is, I don't really feel like I need it, because if I'm looking for a liquid bronzer, this is doing everything that I want it to do. I need very little of it. I feel like this shade is perfect for me. I was looking at the Say shades, and they look like they would be too dark. Even their lightest ones would be too dark. And I was looking at the Makeup by Mario ones, and I feel like his shade range is really nice, but I already have everything I need here. I don't feel like I have to try it. But these 3 bronzers, I mean, there will be times, probably starting in June, where it's like bronzer only. And maybe even just like bronzer and the crease bronzer on the cheeks, and, you know, a little lip gloss and out the door. But that's that. On the days that I do want to wear blush, I am back into my RMS blushes. I really love these Redimension Hydra blushes. This is the shade Pomegranate Fizz. Earlier this month, I did a video trying Jones Road, and the blush that I got in a set is called Bright Pink. And I was like, oh, I don't like bright pink blushes or cool pink blushes. I never look good in them. And the truth is I do. I'm just not used to seeing myself that way. I'm used to seeing myself in a nude blush or a mauve blush or something that's really light. And this here, I got it because it's so pretty. And these are glowy blushes. And it is a little bit on the warmish side, so it's not like a cool pink. But this bright, bright shade is lovely. Lovely. And it's the sort of kind of bright pop that I want on a day when I have a barely there eye. Something like this is fabulous. I will say I have been reaching for this. I wasn't sure when I was trying it out in that video at the beginning of the month that this was going to be for me, but I have been using it so much. You can use this on your lips or on your cheeks. And what I normally do is I like scribble some on the back of my hand, and then I grab a brush. I pick it up with the brush to make sure it's incorporated well into the bristles, and then I just kind of pounce it on. And I find this is the best way to make sure that I'm not disturbing anything that I have down underneath. If I have like spot concealed in areas, or if I'm wearing foundation or skin tint and I want to, because if I were to take the stick and just, sometimes I feel like I press too hard and I disturb whatever is down first. So I usually use a brush. Sometimes I will use a sponge or my fingers, but both work really well. And this bright pink shade is the blush I'm wearing today, and it's not too much, and it's just enough to bring life. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I like the formula. I like how it's, you know, kind of glowy but not shiny. But I also really, really love this color. And I was like, I don't know, bright pink is for me. Man, this month I feel like I haven't just been reaching for the Jones Road products because they were new in my collection, but because they were answering that need for, I need something fast and I don't want it to look like too much. Because the minute I sit down here and I start seeing all of the makeup around me and I say, well, let me use this concealer. Oh, it's really heavy. The rest of my skin looks really bare. Let me throw a little skin tint on. Well, I need just a little bit more. Let me throw on some foundation. And then I lose time. And I don't always have time for that. And if I don't want to go out completely barefaced, I feel like those Jones Road products are great because a little bit of the face pencil, you know, a little bit of this eyeshadow. I really have been liking those products a lot. The blush has been really nice. I liked most everything I got from them, but some things have really just kind of become part of my monthly routine, which I think says a lot about how I'm using makeup right now and what's really working for me. Another, okay, I've been talking about this a lot since I got it. I didn't think I was going to love this that much. This is the Lippy Stick from Jones Road. This is the shade, I think it's Dusty Rose, Deep Rose, excuse me. But this is a very sheer, this is one swipe, a very sheer lip balm. But I'm going to put it over the lip oil I have on. You can build it up. It has a little bit of a mint smell to it. So if you build it up, it's like this, but if you just do one pass over the lips, it'll look a lot sheerer. But I like, even when I build it up, it never looks like lipstick. So this is a much firmer formula than I expected it to be, because it is kind of like a lip balm. I was expecting it to be kind of soft and plushy, you know, a little bit more along the lines of the super soft, almost melting quality that we see in a lot of lip gloss and stick form or lip balms. And you know what? I actually really like that this is a much stiffer and a kind of like a firm formula, that it doesn't end up getting really melty. This is one that I can keep in my pocket. Sometimes if I put something else in my pocket, I dare not try to apply it, because the whole bullet has started to melt. And if I press with it, it's gonna snap off because it's just warmed up with the heat being in my pocket next to my body heat. This doesn't do that. I love that. So I also really like the packaging. It's a metal component, and it's small. It's so unobtrusive. This is kind of like your utilitarian, just a little bit, not too much. I have really been loving this. I've been using this a lot. This is one that I had to pull out of my purse, and the minute something makes it into my purse is the minute I know that has been a fave for me. Other products I have been reaching for since the weather is starting to warm up are my lip oils. And my favorite one is still the one from Beauty Pie. This is the Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil. Look, this month, I didn't think I was gonna, I'm almost out of it. I'm to the point now, this product is the reason I bought this little mini spatula, because I'll get to the point when I can't get the dough foot is still reaching stuff, but once I can't anymore, I'll take the stopper out and I'll use this. I literally want everything. Here's another one. This is Spicy Pink. This is the shade Cheerio. This is kind of like their red tone. Spicy Pink is the shade that I had on before I threw on the Jones Road. And I think, yeah, I even have one here in my pocket. I was using this earlier today as I was cooking dinner, because it's really sheer. They don't have this shade right now. This is a shade that they released 2 years in a row for summer. And it's, what is it called? Sun hazed, but it's very similar to their nude shade that they have in their line permanently. I picked up the limited edition. They have the kind of rose gold caps last year. I picked up their lipsticks that were from this Wonder Gloss line, and I picked up the 3 limited edition shades. I really love these. One of them I finished. I still have the other 2, but this one you can see, like, we're getting close to being nearly out. These are the lip oils that I love the best. I feel like they're the most nourishing. They're the prettiest. They don't string and pull. They don't get goopy. I just wish I could get them locally because having to order them from Beauty Pie is kind of like and then I'll order a lot of them. But the truth is I go through them fairly quickly. They're $14 a piece. I wish they weren't as expensive, because when I first started buying them 4 years ago, they were just over $7 pop. Beauty Pie prices are changing, as are everyone's. But I'm always thinking, oh, do I want to have to buy more of those? Yes, those are one of those things I will continue to buy because I love. All right, I did find another lip product I really liked from Beauty Pie. This is their matte lipstick, and it's this shade. This shade right here is so pretty. This is called Coral Smash. Oh my goodness. If you want to see what this looks like on, it's on in my Beauty Pie summer makeup video. I'll link it for you here in the description box down below. But I normally don't go for kind of peachy toned lipsticks, but this one's so pretty. One day, you know, I put on a little of the Bobbi Brown like face stick under the eyes and this on the lips, and then I dabbed my fingers over my lips and tapped it on as blush, and that's all I did. It was beautiful. I like the formula. It is not so matte. I feel like it's more like a demi matte. It wears really well. It is comfortable. It is hydrating. And this comes in their refillable packaging. So the bullet itself is $12. The refillable packaging, I believe, is $8 if you get the whole thing together. It's $20. But I do like this, but it's this fun shade in Coral Smash that has been great this month when I want a little more color to my face. Here's something else that I got from What's Up Beauty. They sent this to me. They have a new collection of lipsticks. I have never seen lipsticks on, well, bullet lipsticks on their website, and maybe I'm not looking in the right place, but I don't think they had any. But they have this Egyptian Queen line that recently launched. I'll link that video for you in the description box down below. But do you see, we've got Nefertiti on the front and all of these hieroglyphics all the way around the bullet. This, out of the 3 shades in the collection, was my favorite because, look, it is kind of like a mauve pink. This is the shade Seba. Love this. And the great thing is all 3 of the lipsticks in this collection, I do like the other 2. This is the one that I had to get out of my purse. But what's great about this is it is a matte. It's very comfortable. This is what, $23? Has magnetic packaging. I love that. And it's a beautiful metal case. I mean, this is much more luxe than some other luxury lipsticks that come in plastic packaging. I almost felt like I didn't want to use it because it was so pretty, but the color is beautiful. I've been wearing this a lot since I picked it up. This and the eyeliner, these were really fun. Another lipstick that I have been loving, it's very similar in tone. This is one that I picked up during the Sephora sale, I think. Yeah, this is from Valentino. It's the matte. I think it's called Thank You for the Flowers. Now, you'll see that these two are similar. This one's a little cooler, a little bit more gray. Doesn't have as much pink as this one. But these kind of desaturated mauve shades have been everything I want. This is a $45 lipstick. I think the refill is $35. But I had a bad experience with a matte lipstick from Valentino when I picked one up in the fall and the whole bullet snapped off. I have not had that problem with this one, and I've been using it quite a bit more. So I wonder if it was a bum bullet or whether there's been a change in formula. I don't know. Maybe there was damage to it before I got it and then it just kind of fell right out of its, holder. I don't know, but I really do like this formula because, like the one from What's Up Beauty, it is comfortable, it is matte, it is also, it doesn't dry my lips out. And when I say comfortable, I mean it feels comfortable. Sometimes something can feel comfortable and by the end of the day it has sucked all of the hydration out of my lips. This and this, comfortable to wear for all day, reapplies over themselves beautifully. And I do like these kind of desaturated, cooler lipsticks. Beautiful. Here's a product I remember hearing Lisa Eldridge talk about years ago, and it's like, I want to try that. I want to try that. And I keep thinking about it and never picking it up because it is not sold at Ulta or Sephora. And that's where I do most of my beauty shopping. But the other day I was kind of clicking around on the Macy's website and I saw it. This is the Clarins 3-Dot Eyeliner. So this is one of those that has these little teeny tiny prongs. And it's great because if you just touch it down in one spot, you get 3 teeny tiny little dots. You can use it as well, it's hard to do this way showing it to you, but you can draw a line with it, or you can just connect the dots as you go along right at your lash line. It's hard to show you when I'm not seeing what I'm doing, but what I do with this is I use these guys in between my lashes where the lashes grow out of the lid, not in my waterline, not above the lash line or beneath the lash line, like literally where they're growing out, because I have gaps. And this is great for blanking that out and making my lash line look a little bit fuller. And it doesn't look like I'm wearing eyeliner, but there is enough definition there. I really have been liking this. The other thing that I like is that it's not as rigid as you would expect it to be. It actually, will flex. And I like that. I do like that we're not getting too much product being dispensed from this. I do find that if it gets any of my tears on it, I have a very leaky left eye, but both my eyes water. If I use this to wing out a line, and I've done that before, and I start to have tears collecting in the corners here, it does run a little bit. So I use this best as just the in between the lashes where they're growing out of the lid, just to darken that little gap, like boop, put some color there. So my eye look is just a little bit more seamless. This is not a new product, but it's new to my collection. I really like it because it's easier for me to use this than to use a brush and a potted gel and do that and then have to go through and clean the brush. And I'm kind of lazy. And delivery method we'll have to do is pop the lid back on is great. I was watching Khaki Reviews Beauty. I really love her kind of chaotic take on things. She's one of my favorite creators, and she was talking about a fragrance that she'd taken on a trip with her. and that she and her friends had gone through the entire purse spray of in like a weekend. I was like, what? And it's this one. This is Valentino Born in Roma Green Stravaganza. And I was like, interesting. As she was describing it, I was like, well, I like the way that sounds. So I got a coupon offer from Ulta where I would get 20% off, even prestige and fragrance, if I ordered online and picked up in store. And I'd been looking for the purse size of this because I wanted to see if I liked it. And the truth is, I went into my Ulta, I smelled it. That's great, sprayed it on, wore it for the day, loved it. And so I ordered the 1 ounce. It's been a long time, like a year and a half since I've ordered 1 ounce of anything. I do wear fragrance every day, but I usually only wear 1 or 2 spritzes of it. This, I find myself like 6 or 7. I am dousing myself in this. The one thing that's nice is that I'm not one of those people, my mom is, like one spray and it's like she fills the room with it. Fragrances, for whatever reason, don't last on me terribly long. This one doesn't either. So I find that although like the first half an hour after I spray it, once it really starts to kind of mellow out a little bit, it's more subtle, but it's beautiful. This has a really nice light. It smells like spring. I don't know how to describe it. I'll have to put the notes up on the screen for you because I'm really bad at describing things. I wish I was like those people who have the fragrance channels that talk about the heart notes, the top notes, the base notes. Like when you're explaining it to me, that sounds great, but I don't even know what some of those things smell like. So if we're talking foods or fruits, we're good. But the minute you start talking about, other things, I don't know what some of those scents even smell like. But this smells delicious. And I have been dousing myself in this so much so I've only had it for like 3 weeks. Look, I have made a serious dent in this. This is great. The reason I ended up even curious about this is because I had a sample of the Born in Roma, the Donna Born in Roma, the one that's the pink one, and I loved it. And I got a purse spray of that and I'm almost out of the purse spray. And I was like, oh, I want to get more. And it's like, maybe I'll get the full size. And then I heard Khaki talking about this green stravaganza and how much she liked it and her friends liked it. And I was like, I need to smell that before I commit to the other, and I'm glad I got this. This is beautiful. But both of those Valentino fragrances are lovely, but I'm really head over heels for the green stravaganza. So have you heard about that viral under eye hack with lip balm that Scott Barnes showed on his TikTok? And I don't even do TikTok, but I saw somebody talk about it and try it in a video. He uses this Aquaphor lip balm underneath the eyes before he puts on any makeup. Like just kind of like, and I was like, really? And I was like, why is something like this that is like a lip balm that is an occlusive and it's hydrating, but there's something about the texture of this? Guess what? I've had the best no smudge. Like my eye makeup doesn't settle in the crinkles. Sometimes that happens even if I set with powder, or if I put enough powder that it doesn't set, then my under eyes look really dry. So I have very little underneath the eyes today because I put some of this down first, put a little corrector, little concealer, whisper of powder. And I normally, if I don't use enough powder, I will have it settling into my lines. And I've been wearing this makeup for hours and I'm just barely like a couple of spots here, but unless you're like up close or have like a 5 times magnifying mirror in front of you, I don't really think you would notice it. This has been a really great hack. Look for it. I'm sure you'd find it in a YouTube short or videos on people talking about it, but Scott Barnes Aquaphor lip balm under eye. Just search for that and you'll find it. This has really made a difference. And I'm like, yes. And I got these on Amazon, so they came 2 days later. I did have a couple of fails. I already talked about this in one of the worst products I tried this year so far. This is from Beauty Pie, and I feel like it's just not made for my mature skin. The product itself is not bad, but it doesn't make my skin look better. So this is from the Awesome Bronze line. Let me tell you officially what the name is. It's limited edition for this summer. This is the Awesome Bronze Super Glow Radiance Powder. So I like that it comes in a refillable pan. The pan itself is magnetic, sucks it right in. But this right here, if I use like the lightest shade, the blush, and the highlight, it's okay. They do have a little bit more pearl to them than I was expecting. Do you see how shiny they are? Especially this one right here. So putting these on my cheeks, because the older I get, the more texture I'm dealing with. My pores are a little bit larger. My lines, my crow's feet, and the fine lines that I have right across through here. If I put anything that's too glowy, It's not good. I can use like the RMS bronzer because it's like a subtle shine. Same thing with the RMS blush. These work really well for me, but this is so glowy. Oh man. And then the minute I try and use this, if I swirl a brush through all the colors and try and apply them, it just doesn't do me any favors. I look like I'm over bronzed, like I'm, wearing a bronzer from the late 90s, early 2000s, very much Cheeto dust looking, because it's too deep for my skin tone. And then on top of that, it is so reflective. It just shows all the pores, all the wrinkles, and I don't look or feel beautiful. I can use it if I use a very light hand, and if I go over it with a elegant finishing powder like an Hourglass ambient lighting powder or a Givenchy powder, but I don't want to work that hard. So this is not a bad product. It just didn't work for me. Here's another one that I love everything about except for how it smells. And the smell is so off-putting. I wanted to tell you because if you see it, you're like, oh, I love that. All right, this is the Jelly Pop lip oil. What is it called? It's the Glow Reviver lip oil from the Jelly Pop collection from e.l.f. So I like that it's a shimmery watermelon shade. The shade is so pretty. It is so lovely. And I know I like these Glow Reviver lip oils. I already have 2 of them. Like, it's such a pretty glossy shade. I like that we're getting so much in here. I like the price being $8 and you're getting 1/4 of an ounce, which is almost twice as much as a lot of other brands will put in their lip glosses or lip oils. So the value is amazing. But this watermelon smell, like if we smelled like a Jolly Rancher or a Hubba Bubba or something like this smells like, okay, I'm sorry, plastic, a little bit of foot, and a hint of watermelon. I can't. And it also tastes really bad. Not that I'm sitting there licking my lips, but eventually, I've been drinking a lot of water. And if I get any of this lip oil here and I touch it back to my mouth, inevitably some of it's going to get in there. The taste is bad. The smell is bad. I like these so much. Here's one that I've gone through half of. This is the one in, is it Jam Session or I don't remember, but they're great. And these smell like mint. I don't know why they had to go for the watermelon thing because the scent, I've tried so many other things that smell like watermelon. Like even the lip smackers, the watermelon lip smackers smells good. This is terrible. And I'm hoping it's just my nose doesn't like the way this smells and it won't be bad for you, but I like the formula. I like the color. I like the subtle sheen and pearl in here because all the other ones are just kind of like a clear tint. I do have the red one in Red Delicious. Like I do really like these, but this one, I can't. I read a really interesting book and this is a nonfiction book and it's by Eleanor Herman and it's called Off with Her Head. This is a book that is about misogyny. Now, I told my husband, I really want you to read this book, not because I feel that he's misogynistic, not that I feel like he's committing some sin against, women, but it's interesting how our culture is very embedded in benefits to men and deficits for women. And I didn't really think about it at all. And I started reading this book and I was like, whoa. And I didn't realize that at times, I was treating women or thinking about women in a bad way because that's how we always treat women. And the minute I was reading this, I was like, this is such a powerful book. So it's a nonfiction book, but it's talking about how, we have to work harder at making sure we're perceived right. We need to smile more. We need to use a cheerful voice. We need to be well put together. What man ever gets asked if he's sick if he's not wearing makeup and has his hair done? You see what I'm saying? The minute we gain a little bit of weight, someone's going to say, oh, are you okay? Are you depressed? Like that sort of stuff. And it's just those subtle sorts of things that happen. And I never realized that I sometimes would ask people when they weren't wearing makeup, my girlfriends, are you okay? Are you feeling sick? No, I'm just not wearing makeup. Or when somebody would tell me as a teenager, like a man would come up to me and say, you're such a pretty girl, you'd be prettier if you smiled. Well, what business is it of yours? I'm not frowning, I'm just neutral. So this book was very interesting. Talked a lot about people in the public eye, about politicians and how politics is different and the expectations for female politicians as opposed to male politicians. The things that men can say and do, and if women do those same things, they are seen as rude and pushy or shrill or emotional. And I was so intrigued by it. I know this is not a book that everyone would be interested in reading, but it really changed my mind, the way I thought about femininity, the way I thought about how we treat each other. And especially, I asked my husband to read it because we're raising two girls, and we always believe that everybody should be treated the same. But there are some things in there I didn't even know I was doing that is unfair to women. So it really kind of opened up my mind, and it made me think about things in a different way. So there are words that I probably will never use. I will never accuse a woman of being bossy or shrill or emotional. Very interesting read. Really, really enjoyed it. And I found a TV show that I had been hearing about. Okay, there's this account on Instagram called Zillow Gone Wild, and they show all of these really crazy houses that are for sale. Sometimes it's like these giant castles that people have built in the United States, and they're going for millions of dollars. Sometimes they're really outrageous, like celebrity homes that are up for sale for like $25 million. And sometimes it's like a little house in the middle of nowhere that somebody has really decorated with a really creative theme that is not what you would see in Architectural Digest or in Better Homes and Gardens. And they're really, really what they call wackadoo. And they started a show, and it's so much fun to watch these houses. Like somebody's living in a missile silo, you know, somebody's living in a house that's completely decorated in rainbows. Somebody's living in a bright pink house. It's really, really intriguing. And I really like the idea of people committing to their own unique style and going like, I don't care whether people think it's resellable or not. This is what I'm doing. So I've always loved the Instagram account. I've been following it for years. And then when I heard they were doing a TV show and I found it on HBO Max, I was like, yes, we're watching. And my kids and I like to watch it. It's really fun. But it kind of gives you an insight into, you know, everything may look normal outside, but the inside, you never know. You never know what's going on inside a home. Hey, thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know what your favorite thing has been this month. It doesn't have to be makeup or beauty related. You could tell me, you know, did you see a movie that you loved? What's your favorite show? What book are you reading that really has pulled you in? What is your favorite snack? I had to stop buying cheese sticks because me and the cheese sticks, the string cheese, I was eating too many. So I need to find a new favorite snack, but right now I'm like, more water, hydrate. So water has been like my beverage of the month. I'm trying to do less sparkling beverages, you know, less soda, less mineral water, things like that, you know, even less iced coffee and more just water. So let me know what your favorites have been this month. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. If you're curious about those other videos I mentioned, I will have those linked in the description box down below. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon.